Now, one thing I do want to highlight is that you spoke about you receiving support from your family when you wanted to be an actress, right?
Yeah.
And you said that at that age, not you specifically, but people in general are seeking validation from someone, and it's hard when people put you down. Now, the reason
Yeah.
why I wanted to highlight this specifically is because when you're pursuing a dream, especially something unorthodox like being an actor, right?
Mhm.
It's not the most common career path. So it's a lot of times people will project their insecurities on you, like, oh, you're not going to be able to do that, or that's too difficult to do. And I'm glad that you were able to have that support, because sometimes that can be the difference in whether or not you choose to pursue something, especially early on when you have that kind of dream.
Absolutely. Yeah. You do need support. Um, you need people on your side cheering you on. And I found that in my family. And I also, the people that I was more afraid to disappoint were the most excited for me. So,
That's
um,
great.
and, and then, um, and again, I put these extraordinarily inachievable, like demands upon myself to do it, but it worked. I mean, I think we're so capable of doing whatever it is we set our minds to. And and if you stay on the train track long enough, you're going to get hit by a train, you know?
Yeah. Do you remember like the moment that you decided, hey, I want to be an actress? Like, this is what I want to do with my life.
I think I was born that way. Like I I don't think there's anything else I would want to do.
Wow. So like from a child already, like you were saying, like you wanted to, like you've tried to pretend to be other people and everything. So, but like, was it after high school that you were like, because you said you did the school thing, but then it just wasn't for you, like even though you were getting good grades.
Yeah. But you know what? It wasn't like that. It wasn't for me. It was just like at that time I was so burnt out on school that going to more wasn't possible. It wasn't, I just couldn't do it. Wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Just like that kind of like that moment where you were just saying, all right, I'm gonna try this career path. Like I'm not gonna go to school anymore. I'm not gonna try to do a regular job or anything, but I'm really gonna try my hand at acting.
Um, yeah, like when I was failing, when I was just not doing well in school, like it's just not, um, it wasn't, it wasn't, I wasn't happy. I needed to pursue my passion. So I actually met my friends that I, um, hung out with in college would be like, oh my gosh, there's an open call and on this and that, like because it was in LA, right? So and I lived in West LA, so at Santa Monica City College, we would everybody wants to be an actor in LA, like it's this
Right.
they do. Um, and there's this open call for this, that, the other. Let's go, and they had like no cares. They were like, let's just go. Let's just go see. And so they motivated me to just go see. You know what I mean? Like just see what happens. Um and people and casting directors liked my look, and um people believed in me from jump, and I think that, I mean, I didn't get everything, and I yeah, this is not the the profession you want to get into if you're thin skinned, because, you know, everyone tells you what they think of you, and you're like, I mean, you know, discusses what they don't like about you. And you're like, I could hear you, you know, like I'm right here. And, but, you know, so you just have to take it with a grain of salt and just move on. I was too old for some things. I was too young for others. I was too Latin, too not Latina enough. I was, you know, too skinny, too fat, too this, too that. You know, it was always, and you know, they're looking for a, you know, to sell a product or to, they have something in mind. It's not you. Move on. You know what I mean? It's whatever. So,
Right. It's definitely a tough business. Definitely
yeah,
not an easy business to be in.
no,
Was it in the beginning, did you take those kind of things to heart and like just realize that eventually that you had to let it go, or you just kind of were always like, eh?
no. I I got a manager right away, um, who was really hyped on me because, she she said, "You're." I was 21, and she's like, "You look like you're 13," and I'm like, "Okay," and I'm like, "I'm 21." You speak English with no accent, and I'm like, "Yeah." And do you speak Spanish? And I'm like, "Oh, yes." And then, so I spoke Spanish, and she's like, with no accent. And I said, no. And then I'm like, oh, it's my first language. And she was like, oh my God, you're, you know, like she made me feel like she found a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? Like I possessed everything that she was looking for. And that just made me feel so special, you know, till I walked into a room with 30 other girls that look just like me. but
Just like you?
but
Really?
well, you know, you go to casting calls, and yeah, then it's not going to be, they're going to be specific types, you know, there. So